Quick question. If someone came to your website, scrolled through your social feed, or opened your latest email and your logo and your name had somehow disappeared, would they still know it was your business? If not, that means you're probably lacking brand personality in your messaging, and that's what we're going to fix today. Let's go.
Welcome to the Higher Purpose Marketing Strategy Podcast. If you're frustrated by marketing and want to stand out from your competition, this is the show for you. Every week, we're discussing how to build a plan that attracts your best customers and aligns with your values. I'm your host, Ashley Conway, follower of Jesus, CEO of Be Weird Marketing, marketing coach, and copywriter. I promise to defeat the ick, yuck, and struggle bus feelings you may have about marketing with a few good stories and proven advice. So let's have fun and get to work.
Have you ever found yourself in this situation? You go to send someone your website link or your Instagram profile and you just kind of glance and happen to see, what's on there and you're like, man, I don't know if this really sounds like me. So one thing we have to do is acknowledge that there is a difference between, and you'll know it when I say this, a personality packed brand and a personality lacking brand. One feels very distinctive. You don't even have to know the name of the business immediately, but you know who it belongs to. And the other just kind of blends in with everybody else. If you just saw their marketing, their advertising, you wouldn't really know them, who they were, until you see the name. And that's what we don't want. We want you to have such a distinct personality that your potential customers automatically think of you. They know and they associate that personality with you, just like Nike has a certain personality, or Chick-fil-A has a certain personality, or Gary Vee has a certain personality, maybe not my preferred one, but he has a definite personality that you're going to know it's him, right? So we want that for your business. And in this short show today, that's exactly what we're going to be talking about. Now, this came out of last week's topic. We were talking about defining your brand personality, and we went through some questions to kind of help you refine that and steer you in the right direction on creating what your personality is. So if you haven't watched that or listened to that, go back and find it. And then today, we're going to be talking about what to do, how to apply that personality once you have figured it out. So like I said, there is a disconnect that we first have to be aware of before we even know that our brand lacks personality. And these are the feelings you might have. You may think, why does my website or my email or my social media feel flat? It feels flat. It feels bland. But in real life, when you're having a conversation with someone, you're anything but flat or bland or boring. So that's how you know there is a disconnect somewhere. And there are a few reasons that this commonly happens. Number one, you haven't defined your brand personality. Maybe you've never heard of such a thing. You don't know how to do it. You don't know how to narrow it down. So that's one reason you can't use it until you know exactly what it is, right? Number two, your copywriting, whether in-house or in-house, you prioritize professionalism, sounding professional over injecting personality. Not to say there's anything wrong with that, depending on your industry. If you're a law firm, yes, you need to be very professional more than very warm and friendly and quirky. That's probably not a good fit, not what people want in an attorney. But if you're a different type of industry, there's no reason that you can't inject more of your personality into your branding. And number three, the other common reason is you just have an inconsistent personality or tone across the board. So your website may sound one way, your social platforms may be really casual, your emails may be a little more stiff. It's just, kind of a mixed bag. It's not consistent. There's not this holistic voice, which is what you want. You want, no matter whether someone interacts with you on social, on your email, on your website, in person, you want to have the same voice because it's more authentic. It creates a really consistent experience for your customer. So now let's go into 3 practical steps for it's kind of a framework. It's not set in stone, but this is a framework for how you can take your brand personality once you know it from the last show and incorporate it throughout everything you do. So the first thing we're going to do, we're not going to stress about this. We're going to draw a line in the sand and we're going to say everything we create going forward is going to have our brand personality in it. So that's every new email, every blog post, every social post, whatever it is that you do. As you create new content, it's going to have this new voice. If it's drastically different, you may want to mention that. So your email subscribers, whatever it is, probably more there than like social, they're not going to be blown away. Like, who is this? Did you have a personality change overnight? Because this feels like a completely different business. So you're going to want to tee that up in that space. But in social, I think you can immediately start making adjustments. And the same for your website, just bit by bit, keep refining it, use that new personality. And because I know a lot of you all are probably using AI, you need to take 2 steps to get that up to date as well. So you're going to take all those questions that you answered last week and put those answers into ChatGPT or whatever you use and ask it to update my brand personality and my brand voice, knowing these things about me. Now, number 2, that's not going to fix everything. In fact, I typed into ChatGPT last week. It was a story that I was telling, and I was like, take this story and format it into a message I can send to people. And it did it. But when I read it, I'm like, wait, it just doesn't, it's not true. It's not exactly what I would say. So I did have to go back through and make it sound more real. There was still this generic robotic element to it, even though I was putting in a personal story. So all that to say, when you're creating something or your team is creating content, make sure that you have extra time, even if it's just like 10-15 minutes to go through and edit and make it sound more authentic to you. Because even as advanced as AI is right now, it still doesn't sound exactly like you. You can still tell. I can on the receiving end when I get something that is AI generated, even if it has personal stories and personal elements, it's not as good as us yet. So allow yourself time to edit when you're putting together all of this content. And especially in the beginning, edit whatever is coming out because you want to be consistent with that personality you just created. All right, that was number 1. Draw a line in the sand. Everything from now on is going to have the new voice. Number 2, is all about starting to, I know it sounds gross, eat the elephant. The expression is, how do you eat an elephant? 1 bite at a time. So that's what we're going to do with this too. We are going to focus first on something small and quick to fix, and that is your bios. So look at your social bios, your Instagram, look at your LinkedIn headline, look at your email signature. Do they sound and feel like you? And remember, just like we talked about on the last show, that includes your visuals. Do your visuals that you're using on those platforms match your newly defined brand personality? So we're going to work on those first. And you're going to ask yourself with every one of these things, does this sound like something I would actually say? So you're going to be looking for things like you're going to swap jargon or industry terms for something warm and conversational. You're going to add humor if that's a part of your personality. You're going to include human details that make it feel right, just more human. That's what we're going for. So that's just step number 2. You just start with those small things, bios, email signatures, things that don't take a great deal of your time to refine. And then step number 3 is the bigger chunk. You're going to start auditing your website copy. So this is kind of counterintuitive, but I say start with your about page because that's going to be the easiest. It's going to be because it's already your story, right? You just have to go in and make it sound more conversational and personal and, just warm it up some. So you're going to take a look at that first and make the story sound like something you would tell to someone in person. Then you'll go to your homepage because that is probably your most visited page, right? So, and that's the case most of the time. If it's not, you can start with another page, but take a look at your homepage then and make sure somebody who has absolutely no knowledge of what you do knows exactly what you're saying. And again, you want it to match your voice everywhere else. So you want it to be very understandable to them, and you want it to be true to you. So ask yourself, does the voice, the tone that is used here in the writing, match the personality? So if your brand has a quirky personality, I would say mine does. Do you see that in the words being used, in the structure of the way it's being written? Those are all things to keep in mind. You're going to replace really stiff and formal intros with something really conversational. You're going to look at the places that are, not typical copy that you think about, but like photo captions or just a quick headline or anything like that, like short amounts of copy, micro copy. You're going to make sure those are allowing you to express your personality too. And then after you get the homepage done, you'll move to your sign up pages, like for your freebie or your lead magnet. You'll work on those because those should have the next most views. Those are where you're driving everyone to. And then work on your sales pages and make sure all of those across the board have the same tone. You can go in order of, you can use your Google Analytics and go in order of the pages that have the most visits, or you can go with your funnel and think about, okay, what's the first place someone learns about me and sees me, and then go from there. The next place may be the sign up page. The next place may be the sales page. And you can go in order of the order a person would find you and, begin and go through their journey with you. So just to wrap up, here's your encouragement, because some of this can feel like a really big lift. You don't need to overhaul everything today or next week or this month. Just start with one thing. And that's why I recommended starting with bios. Like, just start with your LinkedIn or Instagram bio. Just start with your email signature, because you have had the same voice that you have been having for a long time. Even if it sounds formal, it doesn't matter. It's not going to hurt if it goes on for a few, 3-4 more months. Just take things one bit at a time and start. And that also gives your audience a chance to, it doesn't feel like such a shock. They can adjust with you as you go along and get used to this personality that you are now communicating to them. So it's even helpful to them if you try not to bite everything off at once and get it done in a month. And the other side note to this, because some of these things like homepages and sales pages especially they have more copy, they're going to be harder to adjust, and you're going to have more things to look at. You're going to have visuals, you're going to have button copy, you're going to have so many things to review that sometimes it is helpful to get some outside help for that. So if you need help making your brand voice kind of shine across every channel, every place, every platform, book a power hour with me and I will help get you started. I can't promise that we're going to do everything in that hour because that's not possible, but we can come up with, we can take an overview of what you should do with your messaging in different places and come up with a plan to kind of where to start first, second, third, that type of thing. If that's something you'd be interested in, you can go to beweirdmarketing.com/power hour. And that is all for this week. I wish you the best and look forward to seeing you next week. Bye.
Thanks for listening to today's show. For all things podcast, including transcripts, extra resources, and a place to submit questions for the show, visit higherpurposemarketingstrategy.com. I'd also love for you to do me 2 quick favors. 1, leave a review on Apple Podcasts, and 2, share this episode with your colleagues. And that's a wrap. Meet you back here next week.